This is Mike with the Strawberry Store. Today I wanted to show you a couple of things that we're doing here. This is more or less an experimental area that we're working with. We're doing a couple of things here, as you can see, or as you will see. The first thing is these first couple of trays that you see with some actually pond baskets. We're using them as aeration containers. These are pineapple crush, alpine strawberry pineapple crush that we planted last fall. And you can see they're blooming like crazy. Today is April 7th, so we're a little bit ahead of schedule this year, but this is pineapple crush, as I said, that were planted last fall. And what we're doing here is we're going to do some testing as far as productivity in the aeration containers. And we're using the trays underneath to not only conserve water, but also to act as a reservoir so that excess water can soak back up into the pots. One of the things we find is that when you try to water them too fast, the water runs out of the sides, so you lose a lot of water, and it takes kind of a fine touch to get them watered, and it takes quite a bit of time. We are going to put in some drip lines here for each container. We haven't done that yet. The next area is a couple of containers that we're using, also aeration type containers. The one on the left, the larger plant, was planted about 2 years ago. It's not doing as well as probably it should because it is a little bit crowded in there at this point. That's a Smartpot, and I think it's probably a 5 or 7 gallon. The one on the right is a smaller, it's called root pouch. This plant was planted this spring. Again, pineapple crush in this area. This is a 2 gallon root pouch. Now we have another tray with these are all pineapple crush that we're going to be talking about here in terms of alpines. Another tray. Now we have some aeration containers that we actually sell online that we've been pretty impressed with. They actually conserve water pretty well, and it gets to be a little bit of an issue trying to use a drip system, which we have in the past with different types of aeration containers. This type of container, the white one that you see, is it's root maker is what it is, and it doesn't use the water up as quickly, which makes it difficult to water with a drip system. You have to really have it on a separate line from other types of containers, because you really water it probably every other day or every third day, as opposed to some of these other aeration containers that need to be watered every second day, or even every day when you get into the heat. So now we've got a couple of containers here that we don't have a tray for yet, and again some root pouches that were planted this spring. And as I said, this is an experimental area that we're using for seed production this year, and we're testing the types of systems and types of containers that are going to work best for us in terms of seed production. Again, we got a couple of Smartpots. I think these are 7 gallon Smartpots. Both of the Smartpots here were planted 2 years ago. You can see that the one on the right is not responding real well as the one on the left. It could be that there's a different number of plants in there too. And again, we have some root maker type containers here, a couple of different sizes. I think the 2 larger ones on the right and on the left are 14-inch. The one in the front here is 12-inch, and the one in the back is one of their standard containers. If you order online, I think it's considered a 2 gallon or a 3 gallon. I'm not sure. Now we're coming to an area with a different species. This is Fragaria Virginiana intensity. These are the Virginia strawberry, scarlet strawberry. And again, this is a test area for seed production. Last year was the first time we offered intensity as a seed. And these plants are a couple of years old actually. They were planted last summer. And they're responding pretty well. The two in the root pouches actually were planted this spring. They were in some 6-inch containers that were kind of restricting their growth and holding them back, and were very difficult to keep moist. But the rest of them here are in pond baskets, and as you can see, they're doing pretty well. Actually, a couple of them have started to bloom already. When I was putting them into the trays here today, I noticed a couple of blooms in there. So we should have some fruit production here starting in about 30 days, 25 to 30 days depending on the weather. And so I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what we're up to here. This is really exciting for us because it's allowing us to take a look at some different types of containers that we actually know. Sorry for the motorcycle going by. Containers that we actually know work. There are varying degrees of value to these containers. I think these root pouches are real exciting to me because they're made with recycled material, and they actually, I think these are the 4 to 5 year containers, and they will start decomposing at 4 or 5 years. And I think that's a really good thing because you know, there's way too much refuse and trash around, and trash that doesn't break down for centuries or whatever. So you know, we really are excited about some of those possibilities. We're also excited about the aeration in general, because a couple of years ago we actually, I call it meltdown, we actually experienced meltdown with a lot of our plants that we're using for seed production and also for runner production, and you know, plants that we were rooting runners of for you know, for sale. And it started getting really hot in like July, and the plants just went on a decline and just started melting down, as I call it. And we moved some of those plants from regular containers, plastic containers, into the aeration type containers, at that time Smartpots, and almost immediately, within a week to 10 days, we were starting to get runner production again, and the plants were starting to perk up and starting to be productive again. So it's a really dramatic difference that we've experienced, and we're really excited about the possibility of these new containers, especially the ones that will decompose, and excited about the possibilities of comparing these things in small test here. I just need to organize them, get them each type of container together in each of the two varieties here, or two species that we're working with. So it's going to be a little bit more work, but we'll get it organized, get a drip system on it, and when we start getting fruit here, maybe I'll come back and talk about the results and, you know, what we found in terms of productivity and any other observations that we've made at that time. Okay, for now, this is Mike signing off, Mike with the Strawberry Store. See you later.